To auto-organize, to increase your biological capacity to handle life more automatically and easily, your biology needs to reach certain levels of intensity and then rest from them. In organic intelligence, these levels of intensity are called organic intensity thresholds. When your biology intensifies, reaches these thresholds, and then de-intensifies, that is auto-organization. The intensification and de-intensification, or excitation and relaxation, are typically comfortable and enjoyable. And they often happen when we're pursuing interesting and enjoyable challenges in life. For example, suppose you're at a social gathering and a girl you like is there. If it would be easy to ask her out, not a challenge for you in the slightest, you won't auto-organize. That's not a bad thing. It just means that you won't increase your capacity through asking her out. The intensity of asking her out would be too low because it's not a challenge at all for you. Maybe your next challenge is elsewhere. For example, sharing more about yourself when you talk to girls. Now, if it would be a challenge to ask her out, but a hard one and uncomfortable, that indicates that your intensity is already over threshold. It's over the organic intensity threshold, and you won't auto-organize, because auto-organization requires that your intensity is, first of all, within threshold, below the organic intensity threshold, and then rises to meet that threshold and then rests. If the level of intensity in your biology is already jacked up, like anxiety, then auto-organization cycles are just not possible. And if you do ask her out in that state of over threshold intensity, of high anxiety, you are liable to perpetuate over threshold intensity going into the future. And this will be true even if she says yes. So let's say she says yes to the date and you go to the moon with pleasure, unbelievable disbelief and pleasure from her yes. That may be so intense and over threshold that your biology goes into discomfort because it's over threshold. It's too much for the biology to process easily. And then you can get all sorts of negative intensities, like negative thoughts. I'm no good. Why did she say yes? It must be a trick. This can't be happening. I'm not worthy. And then more anxiety and more depression. If you manage the situation of being over threshold by avoiding intensity, and maybe you'll look at your phone and play with your phone instead of talking to her so as to avoid intensity, that also will not help you auto-organize, because either because you're already over threshold and you're just trying to manage the over threshold intensity, or you're shutting down intensity too much, which could be the good move because you just need to manage over threshold intensity. It's just that auto-organization is not possible, because if you were to let off the brakes and let intensity come up, it would just go over threshold. Now, if asking her out would be a challenge and would be interesting and enjoyable, that's the sweet spot for catalyzing auto-organization. You're interested in her, you're enjoying being with her, there's excitement at the thought of asking her out. You ask her out, the excitement reaches that intensity threshold. She says yes or no. If overall you're stable in comfort and enjoyment, you'll be able to handle the no. And then there's a cool down after the excitement is over, and then you can just settle back down enjoyably. That would be a model example of auto-organization. Note that even if you didn't ask her out, or even talk to her much, you may still have auto-organized. If you were thinking about asking her out, but not quite ready to do it or just didn't make the move for whatever reason, still, your biology may have gone through excitation to threshold and then relaxation. That's also auto-organization. The result of auto-organization is increased capacity, which can show up in many ways, often unpredictable. Maybe tomorrow, you'll ask another girl out effortlessly. It will be the easiest thing in the world to do. The capacity is there. Or maybe you'll naturally and comfortably confront a friend about some issue you have with them, and the conversation will be easy because the capacity is there. Maybe within the next few days, you'll suddenly have the desire to learn a musical instrument, and you'll find yourself buying an instrument and hiring some private lessons, paying for some private lessons. When capacity increases, new desires and interests start to emerge, as well as automatic and effortless action in pursuit of them.